Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. I am Baneflame, and today I'm going to be talking about the 100 Heads Challenge. This challenge was set up by Ahmed Alduri. He's a YouTuber slash artist slash teacher, and he made this challenge in order for people to have a bigger library of studies and understand, I guess, the basics around drawing heads. And it's set up in a way in which you can improve what you want. But the main goal of the challenge is to draw 100 heads in 10 days. So I'm near the end of the challenge myself, but without further ado, here's what I've learned along the way. So one of the main drawbacks I've had initially with the challenge is a lot of the library examples I found were a lot more portrait focused, and I guess that could be obvious, but it should be. But I could also see like there were sculptures and I guess models with more hair and I guess some expression of some sort, and that's okay. Most of it though was pretty plain. Even the ones like I assembled in my own like Pinterest library were mainly just portraits in a number of styles, but I could like see the point was to study the shapes around the face, not focus so much on like getting the likeness of the person. I guess focus more on the form, as it were, as I wanted to in my own way. So yeah, which funnily enough I did get some of the placement of the facial features like incorrect. Like say the one issue I had was like the forehead, like I always make it like too small, and I remember one example the chin was a little too high, and it's supposed to be a recognizable person too, but yeah. Thankfully not every model in this in the library was like human and had more like, say, you know, monster features, but most of them did have hair, and that at first was really complicated because I would sometimes I'd make an outline like just to place it within the page and then work with inside it, but I found that that tends to fuzzy things a little bit, and soon like every head almost was a little too big because I had to put in a lot of detail, and so I ended up making every head kind of fluctuate a bit in size, and it's not all consistent together. I was tempted to put in guidelines, but then I guess I did it for one drawing. I remember there were 3 of them, and one had more sort of rough guidelines with a blue pencil, and I just shaded in, and I realized I found I could use basic shapes to draw in the shadows, and the wherever a shadow was that defined the form of the head, I would put it there, and it would be like basic rectangle, square, triangle, but that was it gets a little more complex, but that's how I broke it down when I was working on these. And it's a shame one of these cut out in the footage, but that one was a really good example. But anyway, I also I began using ballpoint pen more, and that initially I would just add add breadcrumbs, but I mean make small lines because I was unconfident, but I started just to make them longer because why the heck not, and I found that was more relaxing, and I also was lighter with a pen, funnily enough. I was going so far not to lift off the pen from the page, and that allowed me to just, you know, get a little more comfortable with it, frankly. Also, when it kind of sucks when you have to be really basic, do real basic expressions even though the model itself is interesting. Like when they did like say when I found a photo with like an expression like someone's biting a lip, or they're like angry, or they have some emotion, then that was interesting. I still would have gone for something like an outrageous hairstyle, or like something with a little more shape to it, you know. I'd like to see more of those as I come to the end of this challenge. I like to focus a little bit more on that, and I think I'm beginning to see that in some of these. Overall, I can say, while only done in a short space of time, this challenge has left a noticeable improvement and sharpness in my approach, especially with like ballpoint pen, which I found is more the predominant form of like sketching I like to do. And it's weird because it's like permanent, and like whereas pencil is like erasable, and I guess that makes me want to be a bit more confident in it and not worry about the execution. I gained a sense of what I needed to work on in terms of shape and character design, even though really in the challenge I haven't experienced a lot of that. There were some examples, not so much, because every other I see a lot of like just basic sort of portrait styles and some concept art with a bit of models of heads. But anyway, so yeah, like I said earlier, I used the basic shapes like squares and triangles to break down shadow, and I think it really benefited from that, and helps me draw hair a little bit better. Not quite there yet, but it's an improvement, I'll say. And if I do have problem like drawing from this reference, I slow it down and I don't rush so I can problem solve. And I think that's what's really important. So yeah, I found this challenge very achievable, not too long as well. I mean, 10 days, yeah, it's a pretty achievable milestone to have. And the other thing is, these aren't in my sketchbook, as you notice, they're just on random drawing sheets, but I've hung these up as reference for later works and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching this video. Have you done this challenge yourself, or is there any other challenges that might test your skills to some degree? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Cheers.